Hi everyone, my name is Tamara and this is the 7th episode of the Caffeinated Craft Mamas podcast. My podcast all about my knitting and crocheting life in Southwest Missouri, where I live with my partner Richard, our 3 kids, and our dog. I hope you all are well. It has been a while since I've talked to you, 3 weeks. I've actually already recorded this podcast once. I got it edited, I got it ready to upload on YouTube, I rewatched it one more time, and there was no audio. So I put it back up on my editing software, tried again, there was no audio. Started the original file on my phone, there was no audio. So I had to delete it and start all over. So here we are. I'm also going to do the very Midwestern thing and show you the snow. I took some videos, so I will pop it in right here. It is April 20th and it is snowing, which is not common for Southwest Missouri. It's also not uncommon, but everybody's like got stuff over their plants outside and everything like that. Personally, I am enjoying it. I love the snow. Summer is not my jam, so I'm enjoying sitting here and watching it snow. So if I keep looking outside, that is why. And today, since it is cold and rainy and nasty, I am drinking a Yorkshire tea biscuit brew, just with a little bit of cream and sugar. So I have a lot to talk about today. I have several finished objects, one of which has a slight tale of woe and a lesson learned, honestly. I have several half objects and a couple more works in progress. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk about is my brother-in-law's birthday socks. These were a half object last time you saw them. These are knit on a US 2. I knit them toe up. This is Cascade Heritage Prints in color number 84. I believe it's like flames or something. His favorite color is orange. So I knit these with a Fish Lips Kiss heel. I did about 10 rows for the leg and then I believe 12 row cuff, 13 row cuff. And then I did the Knitty Natty stretchy bind off for these. I actually saw him this weekend and left these on the counter. I meant to give them to him. So he really could have used them today too, because it's like a high of 34, 35 today. Ugh. So I'll give those to him when I see him next week. And hopefully my sister's will be done as well, so I can give those to her. I also have a finished object that is not here with me. My friend Nicole's birthday socks were finished. I'll pop a picture in right here. They are knit out of Knitpicks, let's see, yeah, here we go. Knitpicks Static in Paradise. I knit these on a US 1 toe up. They were 60 stitches. I did a Fish Lips Kiss heel and I made the leg as long as the foot. They were a lot of fun to knit and she really liked them, which I was really happy about because she's the friend who wanted me to teach her how to knit because she wants to knit socks. So we're already planning on participating in the Crazy Sock Ladies Summer Sock Camp and picking out our yarn and all that kind of stuff. We are actually getting ready to cast on some sock head hats together to give her a little bit of practice in magic loop before we start on socks. So I'm really excited about it and she really liked them. So, okay, this next finished object. Lord help us all. That was a tad dramatic, I apologize, but I can be dramatic on occasion. So, my Space Clouds pullover. This gorgeous, beautiful pullover. You're probably wondering why I'm not wearing it. Well, so I've been knitting for 12 years. I don't consider myself a beginning knitter by any means. I am not an advanced knitter at all. I would consider myself an intermediate knitter. I did not know that you are supposed to knit a swatch and how you're going to knit the garment. Meaning, if you knit a cardigan, you're going to knit it flat. If you knit a pullover, you're supposed to knit it in the round. That was new to me. And so I swatched for this flat, blocked it, came out perfect. I got gauge. I was so excited. And as I was trying it on, as I was knitting it, I was like, oh, it's going to be a little big, but I had put some positive ease in there because that was what the pattern had called for. Then I steam blocked this baby. And I did not, stretch. I didn't even pin it. I just laid it out and kind of smoothed it out a little bit, the circular yoke. It grew insanely. So let me hold it up so you guys can see, because it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It turned out so well, and I'm so proud of it. And then I measured it. So I steam blocked it, and I was like, oh no, it's huge. Like, I tried it on, it was huge. I washed it, I dried it, nothing. So I measured gauge. I got 16 stitches per 4 inches, not 18 stitches per 4 inches. So instead of this coming out to being a size 42 sweater like it was supposed to, it ended up coming out as a size 46 sweater. 46, 47. I hate that I did this on a test knit. I was gutted. Like, I emailed Jovi, Hook Mountain Handmade. Jovi is who I am test knitting this for. And I texted her on Instagram, and I was like, listen, I have never done this before. I have never messed up a test knit this bad. I'm like, I don't care to start it over. I will do another one. It's not a big deal. But she told me that just having me knit through the pattern was enough, that she wasn't expecting me to knit another one. I am going to knit another one of these because this pattern will not beat me. And honestly, I'm really bummed, because at first I thought it was going to be, like one of those sweaters that would be slouchy enough to wear on the couch. Like if you just wanted to put on leggings and a tank top and then this and look like you put real clothes on, but you didn't. But it's even a little too big for that, for me. But Tale of Woe always has a silver lining. I have a friend who is a crocheter, and she is getting ready to most likely move back home to Kansas City. And so I was telling her that I had messed this up and stuff, and how bummed I was, and how I was gonna not have to, but I was choosing to give it away. And she made a comment that it would fit her, and I was like, oh good, because I was going to donate it. So it will go to her on Friday, and she is probably going to love it. She said she would love it, so we will see. And I am already picking out the next yarn for this. I am planning on doing a charcoal gray at the top, and then the dark matter section is either going to be a dusty pink or a lilac color, because as much as I love this Dancing Meadows, and Olivia did a great job picking out these colors, I want to be able to see those eyelets a lot more. So yeah, slight tale of woe with a silver lining, but it's done. So I'll get all my notes off to her, and that'll be that. The pattern is really great. I really enjoyed the pattern. It was just my own inexperience that messed up the sweater. Who would have thought? So, okay, so those are all my finished objects. So we're going to move on to half objects. I have 2. We'll start with this one. This is my sister's socks, and this is a bag by Lila Styles. This is my Hermione Granger bag. I love it very much. I use them all the time. I have 2. You guys see the other one all the time. But this is the first sock that is all wadded up. There we go. And this is the rest of that Cascade Heritage prints with a random red mini that I had for a toe, basically because I wanted to have a little bit of this left to put in my scrappy blankets, and I didn't want them to match 100%, so I did the toe. And then this sock, the second sock, is just about through the heel. Honestly, these should have been a finished object, but I got caught up in something else. We'll talk about that in a few minutes. So I will have those finished next time, and I'll either have a photo to show you guys, or I'll have the actual socks. Hopefully just a photo. Hopefully I will have given them to her. And those are being knit on US 1, 60 stitches. She has a tiny foot, so they're pretty short. And Fish Lips Kiss heel, and she wanted short socks, so. And next up is a pair of socks for Richard, living in my other Lila Styles bag. This is my Lord of the Rings bag, which again, I love very much. I have a bag I'm hopefully going to order from her soon. Honestly, if I could win the lottery, I'd just buy up most of her bags. Let's just be real. Okay, So this is being knit out of the Hippie Hobbit, which is a deep stash. I bought this years ago. And the colorway Slurpy Swamp. She's not actually even dyeing yarn anymore, but of course I had to put the Hippie Hobbit stuff in the Lord of the Rings bag. So this is the sock. Everybody in my life is wanting shorty socks right now, which I'm cool with. Fish Lips Kiss Heel, 60 stitches on a US size 2. All of my socks have been having the Knitty Natty Stretchy Bind Off. It doesn't flare out quite as much as the Very Pink Stretchy Bind Off does, which I like, but it still gives you the stretch that you need. 1x1 rib on the cuff, short leg, like I said, and then I've got just a itty bitty little toe. Like, I think I'm on row 3, little bitty toe. So, hopefully I will get past the foot on that, because I can knit the toe at nap time when there's some light, but I cannot knit the toe at nighttime. And so I've had to just sit in there the last couple days because I don't have anything that's just the mindless knitting, and it's been hard to stay awake, you guys. I'm getting old. Like, I can't just sit there and stare off into space. So okay. Got my 2 whips now. Both are sweaters. So we are getting, okay, so in May, my father-in-law is retiring. And we are going up there for his retirement party and everything. And we are getting family photos done, because this will be the first time in a long time my mother-in-law has had all 4 of her kids and all their significant others in the same city at the same time. My brother-in-law lives in North Carolina. My sister-in-law just moved home. She lived in New York. We live here, and my in-laws live in the middle of the state, so it's hard to get us all in the same place at the same time. So she went ahead and scheduled family photos. And she gave us all a color scheme so we can all kind of match, just like pastel-y, light colors. And those aren't typically colors I wear. Says the girl who's wearing kind of a tealy color now. But those aren't typically colors I wear. I wear a lot more dark colors. So I didn't really have anything. And I was looking online. I was, JCPenney's, Macy's, shopping. I went to a couple thrift stores because I love to do thrift shopping, and I couldn't really find anything I liked. And so finally I thought, you know what? If I can't find something I like, I'm gonna make something I like. So I decided to knit the Tegna, which is by Caitlin Hunter. I'm sure you've seen this pattern before. I've actually knit this pattern before. So I knit this last summer with my friend Melissa. We knit it together, and I made several mistakes with that sweater. First mistake that I made was I picked a 100% cotton baby yarn. And while it said sport weight on the label, if I had actually looked at the yardage to grams, it was much more of a DK weight. The second mistake that I made was when I swatched flat. Who knew, right? And then the third mistake that I made was I modified the pattern too much. I made it really long, where this is meant to be a little bit more cropped. I ended up running out of yarn, so I had these itty bitty little sleeves. There was just too much that I tried to change about the pattern. So I decided that I would make another one, and I'm not going to make any modifications to the pattern at all. I am knitting it with a little bit less positive ease than it called for, but that's all. So here is my lace. I have 5 rows left of the lace, and I'll be ready to start the stockinette. So let me hold this up for you. It is turning out super pretty. I am so proud. I love it. I am knitting this out of my stash edition, which is some Yarntopia in Rose. This is a Yarn Bee yarn that I got from Hobby Lobby. It is 100% acrylic, so it's not exactly what the pattern called for, but it's got kind of that fuzzy feel that I think the designer was looking for, because the yarn she used did have a little bit of mohair in it. I am not a mohair fan, so I went with acrylic. Plus, we're getting these done in the middle of May, so it's probably going to be a little warm, and I didn't want to bake in the shirt. So yeah, I'm super proud of this so far. I've got plenty of time. I'm a little bit ahead of schedule. The math nerd in me sat there and figured out how many rows I needed to do of the lace every day to get the lace done by a certain day, how many days I have to get the stockinette portion done, how many I have to do the front, the back, you know. And having knit this before, I know that, and with my Space Clouds pullover, I've learned wrap and turn short rows are not my jam. This pattern calls for wrap and turn short rows, so I'm already planning on doing the German short rows instead. So I've learned a lot since I've knit this sweater the last time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this comes out and getting to wear it for those photos. So, because it's hard for me to do photos anyway. I don't like doing them. Most of my finished object photos are Richard standing behind the camera making funny faces at me. So he's, most of the time, the reason I'm smiling or laughing in a photo is because he's telling me a bad dad joke or something like that. So it'll be interesting. So I have one more whip, and this is living in my By the Bay Yarn Co bag. They have changed their name, and I'm not 100% sure what their name is now. I'll put it on the screen. I love this bag. It's just their, I think it's their medium or their large bucket bag. It's got two big pockets in here. I've got a whole sweater in here and most of the yarn for the sweater in here. And I love that my pins all go on here. I've got a ton of pins. I actually have some more that I need to add on here. These pins, the 4 circles ones, are Crochet Luna. This is one I got from a yarn shop. This is the By the Bay Yarn Co. one. It's crooked. And then Bad Wolf Girl Studios, I have hers as well. So living in here is my second test knit. This is the Big Horn Henley Pullover by Amanda at Lovely by Lee. And it's a broken rib, just super squishy pullover V-neck type thing. I mean, I just can't stop squishing this. This is why my sister's socks aren't done. I cast this on, what's today? Today's Tuesday. I cast this on Sunday. I cast this on after we got back from lunch at my parents' house, and the girls decided they wanted to watch the first Avengers movie and then they wanted to watch Captain America. So we sat down and we watched both those movies, and I just flew through this. This is flying. I did swatch for this one in the round. Go me. And I got gauged. So I feel a little behind, which I think is also why I'm like flying through this, because several people in the test knit group have already finished. So I would like to go ahead and get this done. And then I'm already planning on my next one. My brother-in-law, I showed him a picture of it and he thought it looked nice. So I'd like to do this one for Richard and then knit one for Logan for a Christmas gift. And I'll go ahead and get started on some of my Christmas knitting. This is being knit out of, all the labels are ripped when you have a toddler. Knitpicks Mighty Stitch in the colorway navy. It's an 80% acrylic, 20% superwash wool. If you have watched this podcast for very long, you will know that this yarn is not my favorite. It splits like nobody's business. But it was the color Richard chose, and he loved the sweater that I knit for William, and it is very soft. I will give them that. It's got a nice little fuzz to it, and it's really soft. So if this is what he wants, this is what he wants, and it's what he's gonna get. So, and it's not splitting as bad for me in this, so I'm really enjoying it. I'm looking forward to getting it done, like I said, and knitting another one. I am just in the sweater knitting mood. Give me all the sweaters. I have got yarn caked up or getting ready to be caked up for a telegram. by Becky Sorensen, which is a broken ribbed cardigan that I'm super excited about. So I'm just trying to fly through all these sweaters probably as soon as the Tegna, or Tegna, however you say it, is complete. I will start the telegram cardigan. When I say that summer is not my jam, I 100% mean it. I do not like to go outside when it is hot. I do not like to be outside when I will sweat. I would much rather be indoors. I could probably move to a place like Alaska where the high's like 70. My uncle actually lives there, where the high's like 70 in the summer and be completely content. It's just not my jam. So, and it's beautifully snowing out here right now. I guess we'll move on to life and junk. The girls are doing map testing right now, so like state testing at school. So they're both a little cranky, pretty tired. When I talked to Olivia last, she said she was doing good, but I think it's a little hard for her. So I know it's been hard on Jade. William's doing really good. He played a game with his speech therapist the other day, and we realized he knows a lot more of his colors than he's been able to communicate to us. So that was really cool to see that he knew what red was and what blue was and what green was. He just hasn't been able to communicate with us that that's what those colors are. That was cool to see. Other than that, not a whole lot's been going on. We've just been chilling out. Obviously getting some knitting done, house cleaning done. William has his testing next week, so positive prayers would be appreciated for him and for the testers, because I think they're going to try to take him in there without me, and I highly doubt that's going to go over very well. He might surprise me, who knows. So I'm going to go ahead and hop off here so I can get this edited and hopefully up for you guys today since it's so late. I hope you all are happy, healthy, and safe, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. Bye.
Oh.